Hi everyone, very good afternoon and welcome back to CGB Mentors. So let's complete the questions that we started yesterday. 50 questions were completed yesterday and rest of the questions will be completed today. And regarding the AFM classes, see the PDF on questions would be provided to you in the Telegram group, right? But the classes as such on the AFM would not happen, but the PDF will be available to you in the Telegram group. So that is the thing. You can check the questions out over there, do the practice on all the modules of AFM. Right, so let us start the questions over here. Which of the following statements are correct with respect to liability of a paying banker under section 31 of the Negotiable Instrument Act? There are 4 statements given. This section applies when the check is drawn on a specified banker. There are sufficient funds in the drawer's account. The banker must compensate the drawer in case of wrongful dishonor. Okay, bank is liable to the holder of check if it refuses payment even when sufficient funds exist. If funds are not properly available due to garnishee order or court attachment, the banker is still bound to honor the check. Now over here you have to find out that what are the responsibilities or what are the liabilities of the paying bank. So without wasting any time, let us see the correct option over here. See, the banker is obligated to honor a check only when it is drawn on the banker, sufficient funds are available, right? If dishonored wrongfully, banker has to compensate the drawer, not the holder or pay. तो किसको compensate करना पड़ेगा? Drawer को. Banker is liable only to drawer, not the holder. That is why statement 3 is incorrect. And if funds are not properly available, then bank may obviously rightly refuse the payment. This is the right which the bank has. In which of the following situations will a paying banker be held liable for payment made on a forged check? अगर किसी बैंक ने forged check के ऊपर payment कर दिया है, so in what cases the bank was going to be liable? See, customer signatures are forged on the check. Joint account, one of the 2 required signatures is forged. Customer verbally authorizes a third party to sign on their behalf. Check is altered materially, but alteration is not visible, right? So in all these situations, you have been asked in what situation a paying banker will be held liable if they made the payment, right? So let us see options over here. Forgery of signature means no mandate exists, so the bank cannot debit the customer. This was upheld in the Canara Bank case as well as the Bihta Cooperative Bank. Verbal authorization does not meet the legal requirement of proper mandate. So, statement 4 is protected under section 89, providing the alteration is not apparent and payment is in due course. So, the banker is not liable in such a case. If the alteration is not what you can say visible, so bank cannot be held responsible for that. Now, in all the rest of the cases, if you have made the payment on the forged check, you are going to remain the responsible for that. Which of the following are necessary conditions of a Negotiable Instrument Act for a banker to claim protection under section 85? कौन सी है necessary conditions? So let me tell you over here. 85 offers the protection when payment is made on an order or bearer check in due course, right? So if the payment is made in good faith, without negligence, right, and within the tenor of the instrument, it is totally fine. Cross check with account pay only requires payment only through account credit, not over the counter. So that is why यहाँ पे तो वो condition apply नहीं होगी. In Bank of Bihar case, payment to an unrelated third party is not in due course. अगर आपने unrelated third party को payment किया है, then you are not going to get the protection over here. Next is, which of the following judgments clarified principle that if one of the 2 authorized signatories on a check is forged, banker has no mandate and cannot debit the account. In that case, if one signature has been made with an intention of fraud, the banker is not going to debit the account. So this was upheld in the Bihta Cooperative case, right? In the case of Madras Provincial Cooperative Bank, why was the bank held liable for wrong payment? Q, because check was cashed over the counter in violation of statutory requirement for liquidators. You can just remember the case and the judgment over here. That would be it, right? Next we have, which of the following conditions must be met for a banker to claim protection under section 89? 89 में आप कैसे protection claim कर सकते हैं? the check is materially altered but the alteration is not apparent, you can claim protection as a bank. Bank has made the payment in good faith, you can claim the protection, and the payment has to be made within the time being, right? So all these evidences indicated employee involvement in forgery, so there was no mention of the UE marks in this particular case. यहाँ पे आपको these 3 points you have to remember, that in what cases under section 89 of the Negotiable Instrument Act a bank can seek protection, right? Next is, which of the following statements correctly describes the features of demand draft and banker's check? Let's see this. Demand draft is a negotiable instrument treated as check for protections under negotiable instrument. Demand draft can be made payable to the bearer for ease of encashment. Banker's check are primarily used for local payments. For DDs and the banker's check of 50,000 and above, issue and payment in cash is permitted under tax and the PMLR provisions. So now over here correct options are 1 and 3. Why 2 and 4 are incorrect? So under 2, the demand draft cannot be made payable to the bearer, right? Number 1. And statement 4, 50,000 and above cannot be issued or paid in cash. ठीक है, 50,000 से ऊपर की चीज आप कैश में नहीं दे सकते हैं. So that is why 2 and 4 are incorrect. 1 and 3 is correct, where DD is the demand negotiable instrument, though not a check, but is treated as such under Negotiable Instrument Act, and your banker check are used for local payments and they are valid for 3 months. Okay. Now, there are some of the conditions that they have asked for NEFT. NEFT, it functions on deferred net settlement basis, where transactions are settled in batches, can be used for any amount without any maximum or minimum limit, enables one-way fund transfer from Nepal to India under Indo-Nepal Remittances Facility Scheme. NEFT facilitates recurring utility payments like loan installments as well as the electricity bill. Over here, the Nepal point is obviously wrong. So NEFT supports fund transfer from India to Nepal, not the other way around, under the Indo-Nepal Remittances Scheme, right? नाम से ही समझ में आ रहा था that if it is the one-way remittances, we'll allow India to transfer, not the other way round. Okay, maximum, minimum, there is no transaction limit in the NEFT. Obviously, NEFT operates in batches, and then you have it facilitates recurring payments. Now, what are the features of RTGS? Available only during banking hours, totally wrong. Processes transaction on real time and gross basis, yes. Minimum amount is 2 lakh, yes. RTGS credits are based on solely on the beneficiary account number, and name verification is mandatory. See over here, obviously I have told you number 1 is incorrect. RTGS transactions are solely based on account number, name matching is not mandatory. ठीक है, account number match कर रहा है, we'll transfer the payment. So this is what the features of RTGS are. Minimum amount that needs to be transferred is 2 lakh and there is no upper ceiling applied. Which of the following is true regarding the issuance of duplicate demand drafts of the banker's check? Let's see this. See, a duplicate can be issued upon the submission of indemnity and if the payment hasn't been made. Indemnity means to make good the loss. RBI requires issuance within 15 days. Next, interest is payable only when the request is from purchaser or beneficiary, not from a third party holder. So you have to notice that from whom the request needs to become in case the interest needs to be payable. And the original DD as well as the banker's check must not be endorsed or negotiated before refund or duplicate is issued, because obviously we are going to give you duplicate, so the original should not have a role to play. Which of the following statements regarding the electronic benefit transfer schemes are correct? Right, so over here under the State Bank deals with 1 leader bank per district. Participating banks must issue smart cards, open bank accounts. EBD accounts offer only withdrawal, do not support deposit or credit product. Okay, अच्छा एक बात बताओ, अगर withdrawal दे रहे हैं and do not support deposit, okay, we'll talk about it. Scheme supports financial inclusion and ensures timely leakage-free transaction. Nice. Third one is obviously wrong. It provides full banking services like the deposits, overdraft, remittances as well as the entrepreneurial credit as well. So what thing you have to notice is that the credit is also being provided to you. Participating banks, they open accounts and issue smart cards through business correspondence. Yes, good. EBD follows a 1 district, many bank, 1 leader bank system. So that is also correct. Next is, what is the following statement regarding the relationship between a bank and safe deposit locker hirer are correct? Fine. So the bank and the locker, what you can say, service provider, legal relationship is that of a lessor and lessee. Locker can be opened by the hirer's key alone. Lockers are under dual control, requires customer key as well as the master key for operation. Minors can also rent the lockers jointly with the parents and guardians. Let us see. So legal relationship obviously with the bank and the locker service provider is lessor or lessee. Locker cannot be opened with the hirer's key alone. It needs dual control, right? Lockers require dual control whether both the keys are needed. So yes, third one is correct. Fourth is minors are not permitted to hire the lockers. Now, as per the RBI guidelines on safe deposit lockers, which of the following are correct practices related to hiring out of lockers? Banks must collect recent passport photographs, right? A term deposit may be taken to cover the rent of 3 years. Locker allotment must be system based or wait list should be maintained in the CBS. It is mandatory to package locker allotment with term deposits for all new customers. So which of the following condition is correct over here? Let's see. Number 1, obviously passport size photo is needed. A term deposit may be taken, right? May be taken has been written over here for 3 years rent and break open charges. Number 3, allotment should be transparent obviously, and the locker facility should be maintained with the CBS. Mandatory packaging with your term deposits, it's a restrictive practice and it is not allowed beyond what is permitted. ठीक है, यहाँ तक आपको permit किया गया है. Overall, here also there is no mandatory thing to do so. What is just required is that over here you can take it in form of security. That is only the intention over here. Which of the following are infrastructure security requirements for bank locker facilities? क्या हैं? So locker room must have a single entry exit point. Okay, mechanical lockers must conform to safety standards of BIS. Locker keys must bear identification code of the branch. Duplicate master key must be kept at the same branch in sealed envelope. Right? Which of the following is correct over here? Number 1, 2, 3 is correct. Why number 4 is incorrect? Duplicate master keys must be kept at different branch, not at the same one, for the security purposes. If you will see the other points like single entry exit point with CCTV coverage, that is required. BIS industry safety norms, that is required. Keys must be marked with the bank and branch code, but the thing is that they needs to be kept in the separate branch. That is important. Now, which of the following statements regarding locker operations are true as per the RBI guidelines? Again, let's see this from the answer. Banks must send SMS and email alerts. Yes. Privacy in locker room essential. Daily physical check. Daily physical check has been marked important over here. So remember that. Locker keys of the vacant locker must be sealed and preserved, not kept inside another locker. So that is important. What is correct about the nomination facility in the safe deposit lockers? So nomination is allowed in favor of only one individual. Joint locker holders can nominate only one person. In case of thumb impression, nomination from attestation requires from 2 witnesses, and photograph of the nominee is compulsory. So over here 1 and 3 holds true for us. Let us see why 2nd and 4th is incorrect. So second is joint hirers can nominate one or more person. This is not mandatory to hire just one person. And after that, photograph of the nominee is optional based on the customer preferences also. Now, which of the following is true regarding the death of the locker hirer? So, यहाँ पे the claim should be settled within 15 days, right? If the locker hirer dies, the person who has kept his what you can say precious items in the locker, if he dies, then the claim should be settled within 15 days. In case of joint hirers with nominee, both survivor and nominee can jointly access the locker after inventory. Banks are not to insist on succession certificate. Banks must verify the identity of the person who is surviving in case if it is a case of joint hirers, right? So bank may obtain the death certificates also before access. Now, in which of the following bank is allowed to break open a locker? कब allow होता है कि आप खोल सकते हैं? So over here, see, the bank can break open the locker if key is lost. After 3 years of unpaid rent, bank can break the locker. Bank must comply with the court orders if there is any court order, and locker must be inoperative for 7 years. Then also bank can take such kind of step. Inoperative for 7 years, 3 years of unpaid interest. If these are the conditions, you can the bank can break the locker. Now next is as per the updated rules, which of the following are mandatory requirements for the bank? Let us see this. So, SMS alerts, yes. Compensation 100 times the annual rent. New mechanical lockers, BIS standards match करना चाहिए. Locker keys should have the bank codes. So, this is important. Now, next question that we have is, Which of the following statements correctly explains the functions and principles of custodial and portfolio management services? Let's see that custodial services include safekeeping, reporting of securities. Portfolio management aims to maximize return with no regard to risk or liquidity. Diversification helps reduce portfolio risk. Custodial banks often serve mutual funds, pension funds, insurance companies, as well as the high net worth individuals. Now, what is the correct one over here? The B looks totally wrong. So obviously B is wrong over here. Custodial, yes, it will provide the safekeeping services to you. Portfolio management obviously takes into consideration what is the risk situation, or also checks what is the return condition, right? Diversification reduces overall portfolio risk. Custodial bank serve various institutions like mutual funds, insurance firms, as well as high net worth individuals. Now, RBI's initiative for customer services. So, in May 2022, RBI set a 6-member committee to review customer service standards. Committee is chaired by former Deputy Governor BP Kanungo. The committee's mandate includes identify gaps in customer service. Committee will draft a new act for the Customer Protection Act. So, which of the followings are correct? So, yes, there has been a new committee, but there is no mention about the committee drafting a new act. There is no such situation. Gaps identification, focusing on efficacy, and the committee BP Kanungo, these things you have to remember. Which of the following is true regarding the customer service committee of the board? Let us see that. Must include customer representatives, focuses only on complaint forwarded by the ombudsman, formulates customer service policies, it plays a proactive role in improving customer service quality. So let us see that. See, customer service committee should include experts, yes. It assesses compliance, also plays a protective role in examining complaint, not just ombudsman complaint, but all kinds of complaints. So, its role is broader, right? So, this was the point which was misleading over here. Now, which of the following policies are required to be approved by the board and made known to the customer as part of RBI guidelines? Check collection, customer grievances, comprehensive deposit, bank's loan recovery policy. So, bank is mandated that bank has to tell the customer comprehensive deposit policy, check collection policy, customer grievances policy. Loan recovery policy is as such not a requirement to be told out to the customer. Now, what are the key roles and features of Standing Committee on Customer Service as per the RBI directions? Acts as the executive committee for implementation of customer service, okay, chaired by a chairman, executive director. Monitors compliance with RBI guidelines, reports directly to the banking ombudsman for resolve complaint. The first three looks fine, but fourth one is a bit fishy, obviously. Standing committee is a permanent body, right? Chaired by CMD, yes. Ensures timely compliance RBI guidelines, yes, but it does not report to the ombudsman, but it works within the bank's framework itself. Ombudsman को report करने का as such कोई provision नहीं है. Which of the following elements are part of board approved policy for general management of bank branches? क्या है? Multi-lingual indicators board, provision of roving officials to assist customer, appointment of quality assurance officer, formulation of district customer service panel. So let us see this. Board approved policy में branch level पे you should have multilingual booklets to serve all the linguistic communities. Roving officials, quality assurance officer, but district customer service panels, this is not mentioned. Now, what is true about the ATM transactions? So you know the let me tell you over here. So, customers can avail obviously 5 free transactions per month at own bank ATM, right? In metro cities, the limit is for 3 transactions for other bank ATMs. If you are exceeding that, then there is a 23 rupees of fee charge that you have to pay. Now, next we have which of the following measures must bank adopt to ensure prompt blocking and alert mechanism for stolen debit or credit card. So, bank must block the card immediately, okay. Bank must mandatorily send confirmation to the customer. Bank must provide only in-branch reporting for unauthorized card use. Now, this looks suspicious. Bank must issue online alerts for all type of card transactions. So, what is correct over here? A is correct, B is correct, but C is incorrect. Why? Because there are multiple reporting helplines. It is not mandatory that you have to go and report into the branch. That would be a wrong practice for the customer service. So, you can report through helpline, email, SMS, IVR and websites also. right? Next we have, which of the following statements about the failed ATM transactions and dispute resolution are true? All disputes must be settled bilaterally. Bank must resolve the complaint within T+5 working day. Resolution is delayed, then the banks must automatically compensate the customer at 100 per day. Customer must file a separate claim to receive the compensation for delay. So over here, RBI prohibits bilateral settlement. That is wrong. It should be settled via ATM system provider. Complaint resolved within T+5 days, right? With beyond this, 100 per day needs to be compensated. Compensation is to be credited automatically. No separate claim is to be required. Okay, which of the following statements for the branch service hours and legal provisions are true? Branches must remain open for at least 4 hours on working days. Branches in rural areas can adjust business hours and holidays as per local needs. Okay, declaration of holidays under the Negotiable Instrument Act can be done by either central or state government, or RBI fixes specific working hours for all the bank branches across India. Let's see this. So minimum 4 hour service is required on working days. रूरल ब्रांचेस वो अपने आप अपना आवर्स एंड हॉलीडेज सेट कर सकते हैं. सेंट्रल एंड स्टेट गवर्नमेंट कैन डिक्लेयर हॉलीडेज. RBI does not provide specific hours. Banks have discretion in this particular scenario. Which of the following statements are correct regarding the RBI's initiative to strengthen customer grievance redressal mechanism? So RBI introduced a complaint management system in 2019 for 24/7 lodging of complaint. RBI introduced integrated ombudsman scheme. Banking ombudsman was first introduced in 1995 and the complaint management system is available only during business hours. So which one is correct over here? Yes, RBI has launched a complaint management system which is 24/7 online platform for the lodging of complaint. Integrated ombudsman scheme is not limited to cooperative banks. It covers all regulated entities of RBI like commercial banks, NBFCs, etc. Very important point. The banking ombudsman scheme was introduced in 1995 and CMS is available round the clock, not just during the business hours. So that is also important point to be noticed. As per model policy on the grievance redressal, which of the following principles are emphasized by the banks? All complaints efficiently dealt. The bank should ensure customers are unaware of grievance escalation. Bank employees must act in good faith and the redressal mechanism should ensure that the resolution is just and within regulatory framework. So what are the correct options over here? Let us see this. 1, 3 and 4. Why 2 is not correct? So policy aim to increase awareness, not suppress it. And point number 2 says bank should ensure customers are unaware of the grievance escalation. That is such a wrong point. Timely, fair handling of customer complaint is key principle. Structured grievance redressal must operate within rules and regulations, not just the outcomes. Now, this question needs to be read by you. This is just a generic question. Now, next is in the context of ODR's system, that is online dispute resolution. Which of the following are correct feature? Customer should be allowed to lodge complaint through multiple channel. Looks fine. ODR systems are applicable only for the failed transaction. Okay. The system must ensure automatic fetching of transaction based on customer's input. ODR must resolve all the complaints within 30 days. Okay, fine. Let us see that. Number 1 is correct, number 2 is correct, number 3 is also correct. But there is no blanket 30-day deadline which is mandatory. The over here compensation provisions are differ and they are based on the bank's policy. So there is no compulsory 30-day deadline in this in the case of ODRs. Now for the complaints of unauthorized electronic transactions, which of the following statements are true? So bank must provide a direct link on their homepage to report unauthorized transactions. Okay, fine. Complaints must be resolved within maximum of 90 days. If unresolved, compensation must be paid to the customer. SMS alerts must allow the customers to object by replying directly. So all the pointers are correct over here. There has to be a direct complaint link on the website. 90-day timeline. Yes, as per the resolution for the unauthorized transaction, that is the timeline. Compensation is mandatory and the alert should have a reply option for the immediate objections as well. Now, as per the RBI integrated ombudsman scheme, which is the following is correct? It integrates 3 earlier ombudsman scheme. Non-scheduled primary cooperative banks are excluded. It adopts one nation, one ombudsman approach. So, over here 1 and 3 are correct. Why second one is incorrect? Because non-scheduled primary cooperative bank with deposit size of 50 crores and above, we have included it, and obviously what we wanted to make is one nation, one ombudsman approach. Finally, we have the filing of complaint of the integrated ombudsman scheme. So through electronic mode, can be filed by aggrieved person or authorized representative. All complaints are submitted to the centralized receipt and processing center. Complaint must be addressed to the ombudsman having jurisdiction over the concerned bank branch. So what is correct over here? Why one is incorrect? Because you can have the approach of online, electronic or physical mode also. Authorized representatives, yes, they can also be used for filing your complaint. Third one is also correct, but under this CRPC handle the territorial jurisdiction and forwards the complaint. They do not need to address the individual ombudsman directly. आपको सीधा जाने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. Which of the following are valid grounds for the rejection of complaint by ombudsman at the scrutiny stage? क्या है grounds आपके? If it is not addressed to the ombudsman directly, it involves a commercial decision, is against general management, and it involves elaborate oral documentary evidences not suitable for the summary proceedings. So which of the following are correct? All four are correct. If these are the situations, then ombudsman can remove your complaint and will not entertain your complaint, right? Which of the following are true regarding the appeal processes? So if can you file the appeal? The appellate authority is executive director in charge of Department of administering the scheme. Regulated entity can appeal an award even if it has failed to submit required documents during the proceedings. The complainant must accept the award in writing within 30 days. The appellate authority may remand the case to the ombudsman for fresh proposal. Now, why the second one is not correct? Number one point is very, very important for you. That is the executive director of the RBI is the appellate authority. A regulated entity cannot appeal if it failed to furnish the documents without the sufficient cause, and if the complainant does not accept the award in writing within 30 days, it lapses. The adjudicating authority may remand the matter to ombudsman as well. So remember these. Now, which of the following is true regarding the interest on savings bank account? So interest should be credited regularly. Panel charges for non-maintenance of minimum balance can be levied. No interest is payable on inoperative savings bank account. Only A is correct over here. तो किसके बारे में हमें यहाँ पे बात करनी है? Because only A is correct as per RBI guidelines. Interest should be credited on regular basis. If it is inoperative, no penal charges should be levied for shortfalls in the minimum balance in the inoperative accounts. Now, in case of frozen term deposits, if the renewal request is received within 14 days from the maturity, so it would be renewed. If a renewal request is received within 14 days, term deposit should be renewed from the date of maturity. So remember the timeline of 14 days with respect to term deposit renewal. ठीक है? Which of the following is exception to the prohibition on incentives for deposit mobilization? Exception to the prohibition on incentives. So paying commission to door-to-door collection agents under special schemes, that is an exception on prohibition of incentives for deposit mobilization. You can do so in order to increase the deposits, right? Next is which one of the following deposits are exempt from RBI interest rate guidelines? So if there has been deposit in capital gains account scheme, right, which is in relation with your income tax act, so over there interest rate guidelines are not applicable. Next is which of the following is not a valid reason to exempt an account from being marked inoperative? Not a valid reason. Accounts under lien for advance, accounts showing debit balance, accounts under garnishee order, accounts inactive for more than 10 years, right? So over here, long inactivity alone does not exempt an account from being classified inoperative unless other conditions like the legal hold or lien apply. सिर्फ यही condition 10 years वाली applicable नहीं रहेगी. If there are other conditions like lien etc., then only we can label an account as inoperative. Now, if customer response is received from inoperative account but no transaction occurs during extended 1 year period, the accounts become inoperative again. Why? If no transactions are made during the extended year where the bank has extended the tenure and the customer does not do any kind of transaction, we'll classify the account again as inoperative. The Depositor Education and Awareness Fund, a very important thing, it is created under which? Banking Regulation Act. And next is unclaimed foreign currency deposits must be crystallized if they are unclaimed. So after 3 years from maturity, so foreign currency deposits are converted to INR at the end of 3 years from the date of maturity if they remain inoperative. 3 साल के अंदर you will crystallize them. Now, in case of no fixed maturity foreign currency account, when we will convert them into INR? After 3 years, you can convert them, but you have to give a 3 months notice also. And lastly, which of the following accounts must be included in transfer to your depositor education account if unclaimed for 10 years? So हम किसको transfer कर देंगे? If these accounts remain unclaimed for 10 years, we'll transfer this to your depositor's education fund, savings, margin, vostro account, all of the above will be transferred. So these are your remaining 50 questions that have been covered. Thank you so much for joining in.